So we're mounting the tanks in our 1957 Overlander this weekend. We've got the black and the gray mounted. And for those tanks, I used pipe strapping. It's that traditional strapping that you see in the plumbing section at any big box store. And I used this neoprene foam. So about 1.5 inches by 1/4 inch between the strapping and the tank. And there are 3 straps per tank, so 6 total back there, bolted into those cross members. Fresh water is going to go right here. We had to skip a seam rather because there wasn't enough room there, plus the torsion axles, because of the way they're mounted, you can't drop a tank. Anyway, it had been too small, so we're jumping, we're coming here. So this is their freshwater tank. I've already got it. The sensor's mounted. This is going to be the front, if you will, which is going to face the that side of the camper, which would be sort of the non-door side. The electrical, water fill, all that will be over there. So for this tank, because we may be traveling with some water in it from time to time, and the weight will be substantially more than the gray and the black, which should be empty when we're traveling, fingers crossed. I am switching to aluminum straps. This is just aluminum flat bar, 1/8 inch by 1.5 by 3. Bought at the big box store. I bought a 3-foot section because I measured around the tanks, and generally 3 feet is going to work, but it was actually less expensive to order this 8-foot strip of the same material. So I need about 10 feet of it total, and this was 8, so I had to order an extra 3. Anyway, I'll do the same thing. I'll bend these up, use the foam in between the tank and the plastic, between the strap and the plastic tank. Anyway, what I wanted to show today, I'm bending these, and of course they're aluminum, so it's not difficult, but you have to kind of think it out first. So the way these are going to hang, there's going to be a tab. It's going to drop down 3.5, go across 22, and repeat the same on the other side. So I bent the 1.5 inch tab first, and I just put it over this outrigger. I used a hammer for the short section because it's almost impossible to do by hand. You could use some channel locks and bend it freestyle, but then sometimes it doesn't stay straight. So if you just mount it on top of the outrigger, take the hammer and then tap it down, it comes out nice and square. You can see there. Now for this 3.5 inch section, I did the same thing, but of course I had to flip it. Mark the line you want it to be bent at. You can kind of see the Sharpie mark there. Turn it over. I started this one by hand, and then I finished it with a hammer to try to get a fairly decent 90-degree there, which is going to wrap around the tank. So then now what I'm working on is the other side, the other 3.5, and I'm going to bend this long section in toward the outrigger to create this section, and then flip it and do the same thing, right? 3.5, 1.5, and I'll have a complete strap, and I'll do that 3 times for the water tank. And again, using the foam in between the tank and the strap. These will be mounted the same way. I'm going to drill up through the cross members, mount everything with a bolt and a nut. I think it's going to work great. This is similar to what has been used on other campers we've renovated. Not so much the older ones, but like pop-ups, etc. They use strapping underneath the camper. So I think this is going to be plenty, but I'll finish the other 2, get it started, and do a follow-up.